That's it, I've gotten to my limit.
Dad, why are you so angry?
From today onward, I never want to see or hear from you again. You're no longer my son. You're dead to me. I cannot have a stain like you on my name.
So I'm a stain on your name now, aren't I? And why exactly? Because I took on a few silly tattoos?
A few? Your entire body is covered in tattoos, Otto. Do you know how irresponsible that makes you look? You look like a Loch Ness monster. Maybe you'll tattoo your eyeballs next.
Actually, I was kind of considering that too.
You see what I'm saying? No remorse whatsoever. You don't even feel remotely sorry for what your irresponsibility has cost me in my company.
Remorse? Why? You want me to feel sorry for doing what I love? Why should I do that?
You're a worthless son. You know that, right? I've lost a lot of contracts in the past few months because of you. Some of my associates think I'm the father of a hoodlum. One even said I can't handle his job if I can't handle my son. Can you imagine that?
So I'm guessing you want to handle me now?
Exactly.
I need you out of my business and out of my life before it gets out of hand. Okay, but you remember that I was the one who helped you reel in all the contracts you currently work on, right? You lost your flair for pitch-perfect presentation years ago, Dad. You buried them all in the numerous women you brought to bed.
Don't you dare talk to me like that, boy. I am your father.
Are you? I thought you were disowning me just now, no? Get your story straight, duh.
I think it will interest you to know that I have another son, too. Before you start feeling yourself so much. Clay is my well-groomed picture-perfect son. He'll take over the company after me and do all the things you think you used to do for us.
Clay will take over the company. Do you even know how stupid that sounds? How many times had Clay been in any of our training and meetings?
Just the training, right? Clay will get his training. How hard can that be?
Look at it this way. If you can actually train yourself, Dad, then you can train Clay because he actually took after you crazy and unstable.
All right, that's enough. Otto, this is the exact attitude I can no longer have in my house or in my company.
We both know I never wanted to be involved in your company. I've always wanted to be an artist. I simply carried out my duties because I was under pressure to be the ideal heir to you. But not anymore. You do not deserve my loyalty. Especially because you're a narrow-minded person who does not accept people the way they are. You feel everybody has to fit into the mold you have created.
That's not true. You know, I was proud of you in the beginning.
Only because you never knew you'd have another son. You've always told me this. You kept me because you thought Clay would never come along. You planned to usurp me even from birth.
Your mother abandoned you after giving birth to you. She no longer wanted to be with me, so she left. She threw you onto a busy highway, just hoping a car would run along and crush you to shreds. That's why you have that disgusting scar on your wrist. And that should always serve as a reminder that I've been nothing but good to you. You should be grateful.
You shouldn't have brought this up, Dad. You know I took my first tattoo just to cover up that scar. Do you always have to say things that hurt me?
I don't care how you see it, Otto. You're a lot of bad luck, and I just want you out of this family.
Fine, I'll leave.
Thank goodness. I'll send in documents for you to sign in this regard.
Documents?
Yes, accepting that you're no longer a part of this family. Relinquishing the family name and all whatnot. You'll no longer have access to the house or any rights to my company.
Is that all?
Yes, and please make it quick. I need the documents returned to my desk as soon as possible.
I'll do all that you've said. However, the same arrangement applies to you. I'm no longer your son. Never call, text, or contact me ever again for any reason whatsoever. I'll also not be available to fix things when Clay eventually messes everything up for you.
You wish. You can go to hell for all I care. Just make sure you never return.
Later that night.
Hi bro, I need us to talk. Do you have a second to spare?
Is that a question? You know I'll always have time for you. What's popping?
Mr. Ingrid disowned me.
Mr. Ingrid? Your dad?
He's not that anymore, huh?
Told you I sensed that coming. You shouldn't have gotten those tattoos he expressed he didn't want you to get.
But these tattoos are me. They are art on my skin. My own personal means of self-expression. No one has the right to tell me how to feel about it.
I agree, but look at it now. You've lost your place in the Ingrid Empire. All because of your stubbornness. You could have at least waited until your family inherited the business. Before you unleashed your tattoo spree. Don't you think?
In a way, I am happy things happened when they did because I never really wanted to be a part of the company in the first place. Attending board meetings, nerve-wracking brainstorming, and having to act all nice to people I genuinely hate. All that was a lot for me to handle, bro. I really could have quit at some point myself if he had not already disowned me. Mr. Ingrid just made my ordeal a whole lot easier.
It's the way you say, Mr. Ingrid. As if he was never your father.
Was he, though?
You're very rockhead. You know that, right?
Yeah, I agree. Enough about that silly man already.
So what's the plan?
I just need a place to crash for the night.
You know, you didn't really have to text me. You could have just come straight to my place.
I honestly didn't want to be a bother.
You can never bother me. You're my bro. Or have you disowned me, too?
You joke about everything.
I'm sorry, just pull up at the crib.
Thanks a lot, Klain. I'll be gone before you know it.
You can stay as long as you like. I don't mind.
I was hoping to get my own place soon, though.
We'll discuss that when you get here. Let's start by getting you off the streets.
Thank you so much, bro. You're a lifesaver.
It's really nothing. The little things brothers do for each other, right?
Yeah.
1 week later.
Hello, Klain. It's good to see you.
Roveth, my friend. How are things going?
I know it's quite late. But I wanted to express my gratitude for your assistance with my move tonight. Your friendship means a lot to me.
Don't mention it, Roveth. That's what friends are for, right? By the way, your new apartment looks fantastic.
Yes, it does. And can you believe it?
Miss Tiana, let me move in without asking for any rent up front or a security deposit. That does seem a bit unusual, doesn't it?
It does seem a bit strange, but it could also be a fortunate turn-off event, don't you think?
It could be, but something about this situation feels a bit off to me.
I was actually going to ask you about that. Why do you think Miss Tiana made us hot coffee and cookies just because I was moving in? Is she always this hospitable to her tenants?
How would I know?
Well, you're the one who recommended her to me.
All I can tell you is that she's a kind woman and she treated me well when I was dating her daughter.
You dated her daughter?
Yes, I did. And when I was in a tough spot, she let me stay in one of her apartments.
So you're saying she can be a bit overbearing at times?
I wouldn't necessarily call her overbearing.
But she joined us when we were watching the games. That seemed a bit intrusive to me.
Well, you could have asked her to leave if you felt uncomfortable.
I didn't want to appear ungrateful.
I understand where you're coming from.
To be honest, I kind of enjoyed the attention she gave me.
Oh really, Ruveth?
No, it's not like that. It's just that, for the first time in my life, I felt cared for by a woman. It was almost like having a mother. She's called me numerous times to check on how I'm settling in. It feels like we've known each other for years. For once in my life, I felt loved and appreciated despite all my tattoos and everything else.
I get what you're saying, Ruveth. But just remember not to get too comfortable with this situation. You don't want things to get complicated between you and your landlady.
Oh look, she's calling me again.
At this hour? Do you think she might need something from you?
I'm not sure. All I know is that every game has an end.
Let's just hope it's not what we're thinking.
Yes, let's hope so.
3 hours later.
Hello, Ruveth, my dear. There's something I've been wanting to show you for quite some time now. Here, take a look at this picture.
What exactly am I looking at here?
Ruveth, please don't play coy with me. You're not oblivious to the signals I've been sending your way.
Signals? What are you talking about?
Ruveth, you're a handsome young man, full of life and vitality. Don't pretend as if you're unaware of the implications of my actions.
I'm sorry, Ms. Tiana. But I must clarify that our relationship is strictly professional. You're my landlady and nothing more. Furthermore, there's a significant age difference between us. I can't reciprocate your feelings. I apologize if this disappoints you.
Ruveth, listen to me. I'm offering you numerous benefits in exchange for a small compromise on your part. Surely you've been in similar situations with other women before. So this shouldn't be an unfamiliar territory for you. Just consider it for my sake. In return, you won't have to worry about paying rent for as long as you live here.
Ms. Tiana, I never claimed that I wasn't able to pay the rent. In fact, I'm transferring the money to you right now.
Ruveth, I genuinely like you. I don't want to cause any inconvenience for you. This is the only time I'll bring up this topic. And I promise not to bother you about it again.
I appreciate your feelings, Mrs. Tiana. But I simply can't comply with your request. I apologize.
That's all right, Ruveth. Take some time to think it over. But remember this, sooner or later, you'll find yourself agreeing to my proposal. Just wait and see.
2 hours later.
Hello, Ruveth. I hope you're doing well.
Miss Tiana, what do you want from me this time? You've been calling me non-stop.
I don't want anything from you, Ruveth. I just felt the need to apologize to you for my inappropriate behavior.
Apologize? For what?
For the way I acted earlier. I realized now that it was wrong of me to make advances on you.
It's all right, Miss Tiana. I'm not angry with you. But you should know that everyone in this complex holds you in high regard. You wouldn't want to tarnish that respect by behaving inappropriately.
No, of course not. I don't usually behave like that. It's just that, the moment I laid eyes on you, Ruveth, I felt an intense attraction towards you. It was as if we had known each other for a lifetime. My initial instinct was to pursue a romantic relationship with you, which is why I was so forward with you. But now I realize that my approach was wrong. You remind me so much of my son.
Your son?
Yes, my son King. I lost him when he was just 2 years old. I had to leave his father because I feared for my life. But that decision turned out to be the biggest mistake of my life. When I tried to get him back, his father had already left town with him. The fear of never seeing my son again was haunted me ever since. But when I saw you, I'm sorry, I shouldn't burden you with my sad stories.
No, it's okay, Miss Tiana. We all experienced loss at some point in our lives. In fact, I never knew my mother either. My father told me she left us when I was 3 years old.
Oh, Ruvith, I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's all right, Miss Tiana. Sometimes sharing our tragic experiences with others helps us overcome them. Would you like to continue your story?
Well, there isn't much more to tell. We were married for 3 tumultuous years because his father insisted on it. If he hadn't married me, he wouldn't have been appointed as the CEO of his father's company. But more than that, they needed an heir to carry on the family legacy. So after our son was born, Leo didn't want anything more to do with me. He became violent and made several attempts on my life. Despite everything, I stayed because of our son. But one day it became too much.
Did you say Leo?
Yes, Leo. He was a cruel and wicked man. Pure evil. That day, he wanted me out of his house immediately, but I refused to leave without my son. In his rage, he smashed a wine bottle against the wall and threw it at me. I managed to dodge it, but then my 2-year-old son walked into the room. He got caught in the crossfire and the flying glass cut his wrist.
What?
That day was the last time I saw him. After that incident, I ran away, but now I realize that leaving was the biggest mistake of my life. Later on, Leo remarried and had another son with his new wife. Now, all of these years later, I don't even know if my son is alive or dead.
What was your ex-husband's full name?
His name was Leo Ingrid.
Mom?
What? Did you just call me Mom?
No, my name is Ruvith, not King.
But why did you call me Mom?
Because your story matches mine exactly, and this caught on my wrist.
Can you show it to me?
Alright, here's a picture of it. You might not be able to see it clearly because I've covered it up with tattoos over the years.
Is this your left hand?
Yes. Yes, it is.
You are my son, King. That evil man must have changed your name. Your real name is King Leo Ingrid.
All these years. All these years I've been searching for you, Mom. He told me you were dead.
Oh, King. My sweet boy. Please come over to my apartment right now. I need to see you.
5 years later.
Come back home, Ruvith. I need you.
Excuse me. Who is this? And how did you get my number?
How can you not know who I am? I'm your father, boy. And don't play dumb with me. I know you've been keeping tabs on me.
Correction. I'm no longer a boy. I'm a grown man now. And secondly, I don't have a father, so I don't know who this is. And thirdly, I haven't been keeping tabs on you. You're just too famous for your own good.
Enough with this nonsense. I want you to come back home right now. You're the only one who can save the company.
You don't have any right to command me in that matter, Mr. Ingrid. Especially not after you threw me away like trash. I blocked your number before, and I'll do it again right now. Because I do not want to have anything at all to do with a barbaric abuser like yourself.
I would watch how you speak to me if I were you. You owe me everything, Rufus. Everything.
But you're not me. And that's the amazing part. And no, I don't owe you anything. Anything, Mr. Ingrid? As a matter of fact, you owe me an apology for all the years of pain and suffering you caused me.
I really didn't go through the trouble of getting a new line and searching for your contact. Just to banter words with you. Just come home and fix things. The company is on the verge of collapse and you're the only one who can turn things around.
Face your wrath? What can you even do? I heard you're old and sickly now. If I begin to run, you cannot even chase me. Of what good are you then?
So you've been keeping tabs on me?
You're still a celebrity. And even though I honestly don't know why a heartless person like you should be among the elite, it doesn't change the fact that you are. It's easy to keep an eye on everything you do when you and Clay are always on the news for all the wrong reasons.
So at least you know that the company is sinking into the ground.
Not that I didn't warn you from the onset.
What do you mean by that?
I told you that Clay was not the best person to run the company. But you never listened. You let go of your key to generational success simply because of your narrow-minded ideas. P.S. The key was me.
Okay, fine. You've won. Okay? Clay was the worst choice of my life. He kept stealing money from the company's purse to give to his several girlfriends and mistresses. Meanwhile, he told me he was making investments.
And because you love your son so much, you didn't care to make sure he was doing what he said he was? How crazy can you get?
Just come home and fix things.
We signed an agreement, didn't we, Dad? 5 years ago? No? We agreed that I don't have any right to take any action as your son. And neither am I allowed to take up any position in your company. You also issued a police restriction order forbidding me from being found. Even as little as 5 feet away from any of your properties.
I made those rules, Rufus. I can break them. I just need your help. And you will give it to me as payment for the 2.5 decades you were under my care.
I do not owe you anything, Mr. Ingrid. Also, as a responsible citizen, I have no intention of defaulting on government-issued orders. Because unlike you, I have a lot to lose and a reputation to protect.
A reputation? With your creepy tattoos and ungodly mannerisms? How much better could you have gotten in 5 years? I'm sure you're still cleaning floors or washing toilets or something. You should be grateful I'm giving you a second chance.
I have a lot to do right now, Mr. Ingrid. Please, let me be. And as for coming to help you or whatnot, the answer is no. As a matter of fact, what do you say I block this number too?
No, Rufus, don't do that. See, I'm sorry for all that I've done to you. Really. It's just that the company is on the brink of a final liquidation. It's either this or someone else who buys up my business. Something I've worked so hard for.
So has any company come to buy it up?
Some guys LNO in a group. They're so strong and they have a lot of money. If I don't do anything quickly, they'll take over everything in a snap. I can't watch that happen. But I'm too weak to do anything right now. I need your help, Rufus, please.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ingrid, but I cannot be of any help to you at this moment.
You're so ungrateful. I've always known you were a weakling, a failure. I've always known you would be my downfall. A disgrace to this family. Why can't you help me even after I've begged and apologized?
I cannot help you because I am the CEO of LNO Group.
What?
I founded the company after you disowned me. And for your information, LNO is an acronym for Tiana and Ruvith.
Tiana? My ex-wife Tiana?
Yes, I found her. And she told me the actual truth about the wicked and evil way you treated her when you were both married. You're such an opportunist and you don't even deserve to own AG Corporation. Or any other company for that matter.
But you said you never wanted to be part of my company. You wanted to be an artist?
Consider this my payback for treating my mother like trash all those years ago. You'll eat the dust you fed her with. You have my word. And by the way, my name is King. And I'm back to rule over all that is mine. In my capacity as the CEO of LNO Group, I possess the resources and influence necessary to rescue AG Corporation from the brink of collapse. Nonetheless, I harbored no intention of merely bailing out my father's sinking ship with a generous donation. I had a superior plan in mind. I initiated negotiations for a merger between the two companies, suggesting the appointment of my mother, Tiana, as co-CEO alongside me. Tiana, a brilliant businesswoman and the rightful heir to the empire, had endured years of suffering at the hands of my father. She had been compelled to leave him and me when I was just a toddler, after he attempted to harm her with a broken wine bottle. The board members, eager to salvage their company, promptly rallied behind the proposal. Leo, realizing he had no alternative, reluctantly consented to the merger. As the ink on the agreement dried, Tiana and I assumed leadership of the company. Together, we breathed fresh life into AG Corporation. My innovative ideas and my mother's strategic vision reinvigorated the once ailing empire in a surprising turn of events. We introduced new products and services, expanded our market share, and enhanced customer satisfaction. My unconventional appearance and tattoos came to symbolize creativity and resilience. In the end, Leo and Clay were ousted from the company in their family home, effectively reversing the tables and consigning Leo to a life of remorse and regret. He lost everything he had toiled so arduously for, while I regained everything he had taken from me.